giving advice to friends is hard. I always struggle with giving advice to friends because I don't want to be like controlling what they do, right? It's their life, their decision. And at the end of the day, like it's not up for me to say what they do. And so a lot of times I've received multiple feedback about this. I'm not assertive enough when I give advice. And like it always comes off as me being unsure and it's basically no advice, right? It's just like, oh, you make the decision. And I think I need to be more assertive. However, I think there's also another side to it where you can't be too assertive. Because if you are too assertive, then you can come off the wrong way or, it's just like not your place. So basically, I guess I'll describe my philosophy on how assertive you should be when giving advice, and hopefully I can try and work towards this too. So, like, I always say when you're giving advice, it's like, actually, this only applies when the advice you're giving is in agreement with what the friend wants to do, right? It's like, if the friend has some idea, right, and they're coming to you for advice, and they're like, wait, is this the right decision to make? And you agree with it, then it's just like, you're asking them to confirm. They're asking you to confirm, and it's very easy. You're just like, yeah, I think so. And then it makes them feel good. But sometimes they don't know what to do at all, right? And even in those cases, a lot of times they already have some idea of what they want to do. All you have to do is like give them pretty obvious answer that they probably have, and then they go along with it. Other times it's a bit more difficult. They're actually asking for like advice and they actually don't know what to do. In those cases, like obviously you have to formulate some sort of plan and like say, oh, I think the best thing to say is like, obviously it's your own life, make your own decision. But if I were in your situation, this is what I would do. It's very simple. However, like sometimes though, there are disagreements, right, on what the friend thinks they should do and what you think the friend should do. And those scenarios, like, I think it's obviously up to the friend to do what they want to do. Okay, sorry if this is a bit unstructured. What the specific case I wanted to talk about is like, I once was unsure of making a decision, right? I'll just start with an example. I was really unsure of making a decision. Like I was like, I kind of very hesitant on it. And then one of my friends was like, you have to do it. You have to do it. You need to do it. You got to do it. Which, looking back, was the right decision at the time. But basically what ended up happening is, like, I did it for the sake of my friend telling me to do it because I thought my friend was right, right? I never, I think, internally recognized that, okay, this was definitely the right decision to have at this moment. I was just like, it's probably right because my friend told me it was right. I never accepted the thing to do as being right myself in that moment, if that makes any sense. So I think, like, when you're giving advice, a good rule of thumb is always to be like, you can give your friend as many ideas as possible. You can, like, scold your friend as much as possible for, like, not scold, but, like, be like, argue with your friend as much as possible what the right decision is to make. But when it comes to make the right decision, especially if the friend is, like, a bit, like, more, like, able to give, you have to guide them to give themselves up to the decision rather than you. What I mean by that is, like, you can't, like, I think the best way is you can't have them feel that you made the decision for them, but rather it's like you guided them towards the decision that make. They have to have full faith in their decision, right? Now, like, for my it wasn't a bad decision. For my, like, decision back then when my friend kind of forced me into it in a way, I don't regret it at all. But, like, it's definitely made me have, like, I don't know. It's just, like, I think it would have been better if I fully invested myself into doing it. Or else, like, it opens up the possibilities to, like, blame and regret on your friends, which is very bad. Honestly, like, advising friends is always hard, right? That's why this video, like, it's just, like, there's always you don't want to influence them too much, but at the same time, like, you want what's best for them. But sometimes they know what's best for themselves. And so, like, always guide them towards what you think is right, but at the end of the day, like, make sure they make the decision, not you, right? And like, even if you, I think that's the best way. Like, sometimes you need a bit more push, but like, even if you push, it should always make sure, like, you know, they're fully, like, you might be saying, okay, if they do it, then they agree with the decision, right? Well, yeah, kind of, but do they, like, are they fully bought into the reasoning of it, or are they just doing it because everyone told them to? Because that's, if everyone, they're doing it because everyone told them to, they're not, you know, they're not gonna like live with the full brunt of the decision themselves a lot of times. I don't know if this video made any sense. It's just like me trying to say that, like, there's always a fine line when giving your friends advice, because like, they trust you a lot, and they, like, you know, listen to what you want to say. And same thing when you're taking advice. Like, a lot of times everyone will be saying one thing, but you want to do another thing, and maybe you're right. But it's always like tough balance. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Kind of like open-ended, like, just thought video, but not very solution video, if that makes sense. I said that too much. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Goodbye. Subscribe, like.